Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back. I hope you're all enjoying the new set. I certainly am. I've been playing Limited basically since its release, but now I think it's time for me to start making inroads into Constructed. So we've got some sweet Lurrus modern decks lined up for the remainder of the week. I'm going to try and test several. This is the first one, so this is basically Jund Death Shadow minus street rates, but with a Lurrus, and you've got couple of Dark Confidants as other ways of losing life, and the Lurrus gives you amazing utility. You get to play one Seal of Fire, which is just good with Tarmogoyfs and Grim Flayers and Traverse in general. You get to play two Nihil Spell Bomb. You get all of your creatures back, and your Mishra's Baubles as well. So you get really good utility out of the Lurrus. The Lurrus obviously is the headline. Everyone's talking about this card. It's like the most busted creature ever printed, so I expect it will last 5 minutes, but we'll have to see. Yeah, without further ado, I guess I'll just get on with some games, see how we get on. I imagine Lurrus is absolutely outrageous in fair matchups. It's probably not what you need against combo, but hopefully infinite discard and removal is good against combo. It usually is. So, yeah. This is the first Modern I've played since the new cards came out. There are apparently a lot of new archetypes and big changes to other archetypes. There's the companion area. Okay. This is the first. Yeah. No green mana. And we are on the play, it would seem. I think I'm going to mulligan. I think I prefer this. Just put back one Battle Rage. And at least we have mana. So I hope that's clear for everyone. You can all see. I'm going to start with the classic Bauble myself. Seal of Fire. I think I'll draw a Seal of Fire. It's too early to know if it'd be good or not. Looks like it was a good choice. I know it's a red deck, but we do have a Death Shadow in hand, so I think I'm going to shock myself. I'm doing it now because I don't want to draw more lands, so the thinning is a minor thing, but it is something. One, two. I think I'd rather kill the Tarmogoyf before. Sorry, rather kill the Soulscar Mage before I play the Tarmogoyf. One of Goyf's great strengths is that it's resistant to most red spells, and playing it out into a Soulscar Mage feels like you're kind of giving up on that. One thing that's noteworthy is that Lurrus does have lifelink, which isn't great in a Death Shadow deck, but I honestly think if you're getting tons of value out of it, you almost don't need to attack. What did they hit? A Bedlam Reveler they probably can't use, and a Mountain. That's pretty okay for us. A Dark Confidant. You don't say. Well, I still think I'm going to just make a 5/6. Should be pretty hard for them to deal with. Hopefully we'll draw a land at some point, so we can maybe go like Lurrus plus Seal of Fire. But even Lurrus plus Mishra's Bauble is still good. Like, it trades for a removal spell and draws a card, so that's a good one to Seal of Fire, isn't it? Hopefully we'll draw a land. Okay. As you can see, Tarmogoyf is currently doing the job of 3 removal spells, which is why it's so good against red decks. Okay, I think my turn is fairly clear. I'm not sure if there's a particularly good reason to wait, but my inclination against Steamkin is always just to kill it when you have a safe window. I don't think I'm attacking, even though we have a lovely 6-7 that could close the game out pretty fast. They're capable of some very explosive turns. So that Bedlam Reveler got exiled at the end of the last turn, which is great. I assume this is pointing at Dark Confidant, but for some reason it won't let me see at the moment. I can just F6, can't I? That's going at me. Okay. I think I'm okay with that. They must have a light at the stage. That would explain the timing, I guess. Nope, they're just going for a big turn. A bolt and a mountain. Sure, they can't play a mountain, right? Because they already played a land for the turn. They can bolt. Still bolting me, okay. And they've got 1 card in hand. I will certainly be blocking if they attack. I'll probably be blocking both. Okay. They've exiled a Manamorphose and a mountain, sure. I don't think I want to take 6, so I'm happy to bounce and lose the Dark Confidant. That still seems okay to me. We've nothing to Inquisition, but getting this down still seems more valuable than playing Lurrus without anything to flash. Not to flashback, you know what I mean. Anything. The only thing we could cast would be the Mishra's Bauble, and that doesn't seem necessary. Whereas if they deal us a little bit of damage, like their exile zone contains 2 mountains, of which they'll get to play 1, and a Manamorphose, and they've got 1 draw step, so I'm not that scared. Yep. And then we can potentially make a big attack with the Battle Rage. I suppose the best hit for them is just something like a Bedlam Reveler. Their hand is currently just the unknown from their draw step, and then a second unknown from the Manamorphose. Sure, I'm blocking both. Why? I don't know why I wouldn't. Bolt on the Shadow. Okay. They still lose both creatures. I think that's great for me. I'm going to attack, and at some point I'll probably either kill a small creature or make them discard and pick up my Death Shadow with this Kerrigan's Command, but I don't know, I haven't figured out exactly when I want to do it. It's actually not out of the question to deal 2 to the player, because Kerrigan, that would make Battle Rage lethal. I don't hate that plan. Doesn't matter. Tarmogoyf is amazing. That's the lesson there. Scavenging Ooze also amazing. Grim Lavamancer is probably too weak to Lava Dart, I think. These are obviously great. And Damping Sphere is a consideration, but I don't think I need it. Dismember seems a bit, and Dark Confidant, they both seem a bit risky. And not to mention the Dark Confidant being fragile for the same reasons as the Grim Lavamancer. Like, they're both good cards, but not necessarily what we need. 2 Nile Spell Bombs I quite like for Bedlam Reveler purposes and Lava Dart purposes, but I don't think I want more than that. And am I right in saying Trophy is my only answer to a Bedlam Reveler apart from blocking? So I think I like keeping that. I think I'm going to trim 1 Thoughtseize. Or am I trimming the Kolaghan's Command instead? I don't know. We'll try like this. We'll try like this. This is okay. It's a bit unimpressive, but it's got a Tarmogoyf, which is our best card, so I think I'm incentivized to keep. Obviously, something like a Swift Spear would be problematic. Grafdigger's Cage, on the other hand, I don't think does anything against me apart from stopping Lurrus. So that's pretty great. Not sure what they think I'm doing, where Grafdigger's Cage would help. Sometimes I think people's rationale is like, oh, they have a graveyardy element, I'll bring in my graveyard hate, but that doesn't seem right to me. So while I was talking, I bobbled myself, saw a fetch land, decided I didn't want it. And now I'm deciding, but I don't think... Well, do I just want to put a sorcery in the yard to make sure that my Goyf is big? It's an interesting question. I don't think so. I think the Goyf's big enough anyway. And I don't want to pay life because there isn't a Death Shadow in my hand. And they are a scary red deck. Hopefully we draw a spell. 3 lands is plenty for this deck. That's sort of a spell. Less good when we don't have a shuffle. Well, we can shuffle with Traverse if we're desperate, but I can't think of anything so bad that it would make me cast Traverse instead of Goyf. Okay, that's probably fine for a turn, but might need answering the turn after. Maybe we'll trophy it on our turn 3. Though I could be completely wrong in that assessment. Bauble myself to begin with. Thoughtseize. I think I'm happy to draw that. So we draw the Thoughtseize and then cross our fingers that we get to untap with the Goyf. And okay, so it's a second Steamkin. That's all right. We just need to stop them having like a silly turn where they go, you know, mad with Manamorphoses and light up the stages, and hopefully the Thoughtseize will be enough disruption for that. Tormod's Crypt is good, but I don't know, it feels like they've over-sideboarded quite a lot. If I take the Steamkin, they can't cast the light up the stages at the moment. Just gonna, just gonna pass the turn for now. It's funny, taking the Steamkin doesn't feel great when they've already got 2 in play, but... Okay, now I have to think. Sorry, let me make this smaller so we can all see what's going on. I'll respond to any additional spells that might put the extra counter on this Steamkin. The reason for that, actually no, it's irrelevant now because they're lava spiking me. Oh. Sure, let's go for it. I was going to say the reason is that if I'd responded to the Manamorphose, they would have had 2 mana from the Manamorphose plus 1 from this land, and they could have cast the light ups. But now I've got 3 damage; they can cast them anyway for cheap. So I go to 10. Ten's okay. I would kill for a Death Shadow. Let's see what they hit. Okay, they can play both of those this turn. I presume this is going to be the other light up. So they now have no cards in hand, so all the information we need is going to be in this slot here. Another Mountain is quite good, and Lava Dart is quite good, I guess. These are about as unscary as it can be. It's worth noting that their Lava Dart is shut off by their own Grafdigger's Cage. So I think this might not go the way they want it to. I think they may have just absolutely blown it, and they might shame scoop. I would consider shame scooping in their position, but the opponent has more pride. Are they going to offer a trade? I will gladly trade. They decline. I can give myself Delirium. This seems great. Well, I was going to traverse for a Death Shadow, but this seems slightly better. I need to remember which ones can be cast. I think, was it just a mountain that they had left? I'm not going to keep that open, if that's the case. It was unfortunate that the opponent managed to forget the existence of their own Grafdigger's Cage, which has done, it's worth noting, it's done 0 this game. Literal 0. That was probably their best draw. A Blood Moon and a Mountain, you say? Well, I'm very, very, very glad that they don't... I think they've used their land drop for the turn, so they can't cast Blood Moon now, and I can just traverse from my forest if I need to. But before we deal any... Yeah, before I worry about that, I'm going to start by trying to kill them, because if they don't block, they're dead to a Battle Rage. In fact, they're dead to double Battle Rage, aren't they? I can Battle Rage each one, even if they block, so... Okay, good. Got 'em. Well, that wasn't a very fair test, was it? The opponent misunderstood and stuff, so... I should add, by the way, this deck and probably the next several on this channel, they won't be originals or anything. I'm literally just seeing what's going on with the new cards. This is a cracking hand. Big fan of turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 creature. It's been a winning formula in lots of formats for a long time. The opponent is on 7 and hasn't got a companion. But we do. Let's see what we're playing against. Summoner's Pact stuff. So we can not really keep them off Titans because they've got the Talaria West to get another Summoner's Pact. So I suppose that means we want to keep them off of Acceleration. Which one's Crumbling Vestige? I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. 2 seconds. Enters tapped, and you can float a mana, so that's their plan for their Tribe Scout, I suppose. Given that they can make the Tribe Scout on turn 1, I think I'm going to take it. Not sure that was correct. It's the least powerful spell in their hand by a lot, but I think it's the one that they're leaning on the most. Seal of Fire is a good answer to the Azusa, but I have to get my creature down first. Stating the obvious, the best thing we can draw now is more pressure. Seal of Fire is great insofar as it plus 1 Grim Flare activation should probably give us Delirium. Okay, and then pick back up the Talaria West. It's nice that opponent's not got a very explosive hand. One thing that's a little bit sad is that the Seal of Fire will be sat in play, so they will know that I'm going to kill their Azusa, so they'll be playing... Actually, no, it's not. So sorry, the way you sequence lands with Azusa matters specifically when you have a amulet, because the ones that come in tapped have a trigger, and your opponent can respond to the trigger with a removal. It won't matter in this case. I'm talking bollocks. Do I want to draw that Death Shadow? Well, I may have done, but I've missequenced. I should have got all my shuffling out of the way before I did this. So, let's say I bin everything. I can play this Seal of Fire, play this Wooded Foothills, and if they don't make an Azusa this turn, I may well trophy one of their 2-mana lands just to give myself Delirium. But obviously my preference is to get to use the Seal of Fire, and I may be incentivized to do both, I don't know. Yep. I'm not sure how many forests they play, but I assume they have enough to... I think I'm more keen to save the trophy for a Titan. It's a great draw. Start there. They've got a Khan, have they? Khan is fine. I think we're quite well set up to remove Khan. But we're also quite well set up to stop everything else. I'm going to take the Khan. I'm going to traverse for a Death Shadow pre-combat, because then I can set up the top of my library without having to worry. Do I need Bolt for any particular reason? So they're very obviously making a Titan, but without an amulet I don't think we're getting attacked by it this turn. I can trophy said Titan and get in for not enough. Or if I leave the Bolt on top, I have the out of bolting myself and casting Battle Rage to make this 18 trample damage, but that's not enough because they'll have 6 toughness. Oh no, 20 trample damage, so that's perfect. So I'm going to put this on top. Okay, so yeah, assuming they make a Titan and don't attack with it, which I think is the most likely way this turn goes, I can bolt myself, putting myself the shadow up to an 8, and then Battle Rage, 2 8s is 16, plus 4 is 20, minus 6 is 14, so they're dead. If I've got this all correct. And I haven't forgotten, there may be some way of, I mean, I'm not that up to date with the Titan decks, but I think we've got it. They may have some cool trick I've forgotten about. But my feeling is they'll probably just get some setup cards and we'll be able to kill them. Ah, the Bog. That saves. And the Fountain. See? We didn't win. Well, I'm starting by attacking with the shadow. And if they block, I guess I just bolt myself and eat the Titan. And if they don't block, I bolt myself and win the game. Cool. These Titan decks do not love consistent disruption, let me tell you. Whether that justifies Stone Rain, I don't think it does, but it definitely justifies Damping Sphere. And I think that's it. Nah, I do want Stone Rain. I must have 4 bad cards in my main. Like the 2 Spell Bombs don't do a ton in this matchup. All of the small removal is it has really limited value after like turn 3, but if you get to get one of their accelerants early, it can matter. Maybe I'll leave in the red removal because it can go face, and maybe just remove the push. The Dismember might enable me to punk out a Titan in combat, so I think I'm going to leave that. It's probably not the Coligan's Command deck, is it? The Coligan's Command matchup, sorry. It might be. Might be able to make them discard a Titan and draw step or something. I don't hate having 1 copy. I love Wrenn and 6, but we don't have any disruptive lands like Ghost Quarters, and this isn't. I don't think this is about grinding. Okay, I'm in. Good hand. Like, it's more of a regular Jund hand than a Death Shadow hand, but it's still good. Let's hope they don't have the turn 1 amulet before we get to cast Inquisition. Just play a tap land. Just be a... Oh! Veil of Summer, you say? I don't really want to get Veil of Summered. Is there anything else it could be? I don't think there is. I'm not going to play into it. It just gives them a way to cantrip, make their hand better. And once again, I think it's, given that we have quite a good fair game plan, I think it's wrong to take our life total too low until we draw a Death Shadow. Especially with 2 Dark Confidants, we're going to take some damage anyway in a productive way, whereas just shocking to deal damage to yourself because you're a Death Shadow deck isn't going to really help matters. So they'll have 3 mana now. Hopefully they'll use it to cast Azusa, and we've got a Dryad. Maybe we don't have a window to... I was thinking we'd have a window to get them with the old Inquisition, but that could conceivably be their only thing that costs less than 3. Bolt. Grimflayer, okay. I'll start with this. We'll see what's in their hand. A Veil and a Pact. So those are 2 scary cards. But the Veil doesn't matter now because we've got around it. They're probably playing Calm next turn. This game feels pretty bad from our side. Take the Pact. I can offer a trade. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 mana next turn, so either way I think I'm attacking, because I think I want the Dryad dead. I think it's worth me trading like 2 things for it. So their turn is probably going to involve making a Karn with a green up for Veil. And we will just have to deal with it, basically. The fact that our discard spell was Inquisition rather than Thoughtseize was, I think, quite big here. Maybe they'll have something like a Tormod's Crypt as well to disrupt us a bit. If they do, that's fine, I think. Engineered Explosives, okay. That's disruption next turn. We have a window in which to exist in the meantime. So we take a lot of damage and draw some cards. Thoughtseize is wonderful. Other than the fact they have Veil of Summer. I'm going to attack. I've really blown this. I needed to play a red source pre-combat. Oh. I think it's still necessary. As awful as it is to lose one. They've all drawn cards already. Yeah, I've fucked this up, but it's alright. The point is we've got Delirium, so I can go and get a Death Shadow and play around their Engineered Explosives a little bit. Keep under some pressure. But I think I really, really fucked that up. And I can't cast the Death Shadow. Come on, Chris. So, I suppose they now have a choice of do they play the Titan or the Engineered Explosives, but I think it's pretty clear you play the Titan. Yep. Now, once again, without the amulet, I don't think we're getting anything too horrible done to us this turn. But the Bajuka Bog's probably coming. And maybe a Boros land or something. Oh yeah, the Valakut, yeah. Why wouldn't this deck get to play Valakuts these days? I think we're done here. I think I didn't play this game well, and I think we weren't winning if I did. So let's knock that one on the head and try again in game 3. Is there any reason to change anything? Fatal Push could have killed the Dryad, where something like one of these could not. Given that all the rest of their stuff, the difference between 2 and 3 doesn't matter, and these have extra card types, I'm going to change it for a Bolt. And I'm just going to submit like that. I would like to play first. Stone Rain is cool. Everything else about this hand is a bit limp. Do we need to mulligan for a way to interact on turn 1? I don't think a 6 is better than this, but I'm not sure. My hope is that turn 2 Dark Confidant, turn 3 Stone Rain is really good, because if you get to Stone Rain, specifically a bounce land, it's like double Time Walk basically, because they've had to bounce their own land obviously whilst playing it. I'm going to shock because we do have a Death Shadow now, and I want to make them respect the possibility of a bolt or something. Okay. I imagine they're looking for an amulet, it seems. I was going to say, I imagine they're looking for a bounce land, but... We're playing Bob because we really need to make sure we hit third land for the Stone Rain. I'm in this matchup where we're so clearly the control. I'm wondering if it was wrong not to mulligan for a Thoughtseize effect. Okay. I assume they have a veil. It feels like they do. No? Okay, this is good. Yeah, it's you. It's not target player. Just checking that the Radiant Fountain couldn't kill my Death Shadow. Which would be annoying. Good draw for them, but not amazing. All pretty reasonable. I think I want to save the Stone Rain for a 2-mana land. So I probably want to play a creature pre-combat, and I think it has to be Tarmogoyf. And then attack. Double Amulet can lead to really, really busted turns, but I don't think I should be using my trophy on it. Okay. Do I just trophy this, and then, assuming I do, they would have 2 types in the graveyard. We could put a third in, we can injure ourselves, we have a Battle Rage. I haven't done any maths, but it looks lethal. Based on a hunch. Assume this is going to be Bog. Yep, which is fine. Like, it shrinks our Goyf a bit, but not really. because the trophy will be in the graveyard. They'll be like, the ghost will be a 3/4, I think. A 4/5. How was that then? Oh, sorcery. So we just need to not take 9. And we can, whatever. We know their hand, everything's safe. Cool. Well, I didn't think I'd made a very good keep in that third game, but I tell you what, I think I made a better keep than the opponent. Their hand was crap, so we got a lot of help. I would like to go first. I have this one, please. Did I just accident? No, I didn't. Oh, they're a Lurrus deck as well. How fun. Well, I'm not sure this was correct, but my brain was like, if they're a Lurrus deck and I have a Nile spell bomb, I'm probably just going to play it. I don't know if it was right though. I maybe should have mulliganed for something more proactive. Obviously, them being a Lurrus deck doesn't exactly narrow it down, does it? There's 1,000 of them. Thoughtseize. Ozolith. They're not joking when they're called Rogue Deck Wins. They're up to something. Let's see. Give me some information so I can. Oh, it's a wonky version of Hardened Scales. Well, given that they have a Lurrus, the only one I actually get to discard is Ancient Stirrings, unless I use my Nile Spellbomb. But I'm probably going to use my Nile Spellbomb this turn. Because, you know, I want to draw a card. So, Blooming Marsh, Steel Overseer. Yeah, that all makes sense. The Ozolith is beginning to make sense. Quite a decent one. I'd love a removal spell for the Lurrus. That counts. Sure thing. We got a Ravager. Good for them. Well, to be honest, if Ozolith and Lurrus are what it takes for Arcbound Ravager decks to make a comeback, I think I'm okay with that. It's a cool archetype. Traverse. I can kill this, traverse for Shadow. Do I need to start by killing the Ravager, maybe? Wow. That's quite something. Well, we're going to cast Lurrus for the first time. We're going to cast this. And they currently don't have anything to do with their Lurrus, so I think that's okay. As in, we don't need to use the spell bomb yet. Can wait, draw an extra card. But I am not really sure. This is hilarious. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to fight what we're currently playing against. This feels an awful lot like I'm dying to infect next turn, so I will have to keep up trophy. Bob, you say? Bob's not it. Let me tell you, Bob is not it. I can't do anything too aggressive. Just going to pass. Like, they can do something like go all in on the Ravager. Okay. I really need to kill the Nexus, you see, but I don't know. I don't know how to attack what they're doing. It's too abnormal, for lack of a better term. I suspect I have to let them make a big move. I can afford to lose Goyf because of Lurrus, and this forces them to do at least activate the Steel Overseer. I'm fine, I think, with taking 4 Infect, and then I'll try and trophy the Nexus after combat. They have to decide between all the counters and a land. I suspect they'll take all the counters every time. Bolt's a bit late. Aren't you, Mr. Bolt? These two aren't very good blockers, so we're going to hit, gain a small amount of life whilst doing so, and attempt to make some inroads into their life total. Okay. It's interesting that they've still not felt the need to play their Lurrus, although I suppose we've managed their Lurrus quite well with the Nile Spellbomb. We have to block because of losing the game. Can't welding jar that, can you, idiot? Probably should be a bit less sassy. Right, is that lethal? I think that's lethal, isn't it? Yeah. We take 8. And then we kill them. I think that works. I can't think of anything that would save them. Well, Lurrus allowing us to have lots of chump blockers did make a big difference there, and its lifelink, and its 3 power. All of that helped, so good job, buddy. This matchup feels tough, if I'm honest. Scoos. Do I want Lava Man? Probably. They're very well equipped at just, like, making removal bad. Get rid of flayers. I think they're the weakest thing that we have going on. Yes, this hand is pretty much a dream. This is everything I want in a Jund hand. So, Inquisition first and then Thoughtseize. Probably a creature and then try to double spell the following turn. So that was a fairly easy Ravager. It's by far the scariest thing in that hand. I'd be aghast if they didn't play the Ballista this turn though, which is quite scary on its own, unless we draw removal. With that said, Dark Confidant may functionally be removal. It may price them into pinging it. Okay. I'm not going to block. Okay. It's a land, it's pretty good. Veil, sure, that sucks. Yeah. I had half a mind to run out 2/1/1 Death Shadows, but if they play a Ballista for 2, it's just so bad. Mm-hmm. And what, the Ravager or the Ballista? I feel like it has to be Ballista, kill your Death Shadow immediately. Oh, it's got scales, so they can kill both. Hang on, what happens there? I need to try to grasp it. So that basically makes the Ballista into a 3/3, right? So they can kill both and keep it around. Okay. Okay, opponent. That's quite clever. And that being dead doesn't matter because of Lurrus. And now I'm seeing why Ozolith is good here as well. This game feels kind of far gone. I think the not drawing removal spells when we're playing 10,000 is probably killing us. Yeah, it's so bad. This is so bad. And a Pendelhaven to boot. Is this lethal? This feels like it's awfully close. 2, something like sack here, they go over there. No, they would have done that pre-combat, right? Okay, well we can draw like a K command or something and be in okay shape. That's probably not going to do it. They're too well set up. Do I want all 4 spell bombs? I don't think so. We'll try it. Hmm. Sure. I'm not sure this is a good keep, but Abrupt Decay is one that I'm very happy to see. Worth noting that it can be veiled though, so... And Welding Jarred. So that's lots of fun things for us to worry about. Next turn we can play Lurrus and Bobble or something. Sure. That's not their strongest turn 2. Death Shadow, okay. Happy with that. Like, we've got the wherewithal to lose a lot of life, so something like a Battle Rage is looking very, very good. Stirrings is also fine, I think. It doesn't impact the board. Okay. Interesting from... Oh, sure, because they want to pump. Can you regenerate it if I minus it? I don't think you can. Thoughtseize, I don't think I need that. Do I actually want the Thoughtseize for... No, I want to try and draw exactly Team of Battle Rage. Whilst making sure I don't die, so I guess I won't go any lower. We've got loads more ways to reduce our life total in hand. Okay, it's really good. Makes me feel safer against the Nexus. Once we get through this Welding Jar, so I'm going to need them to play something meaningful that I can kill in order to get them to use the Welding Jar. So hanger back? Sure. Okay. Hopefully they'll jar that. Veil. Okay. Irritating. See what's in their hand. Just seeing if I could deal none to it, because they're clearly planning this. Maybe it was poor timing for me to use a spell bomb before combat. We'll see, I guess. See if I get punished for it. I think that's okay. Ah! Oh! Fuck. I forgot about gaining life. Fuck, Chris. Well, it'll be alright. It's not like it's dead for very long, thanks to Lurrus. Traverse. I don't think we want to draw Traverse. It might be a bit slow. Oh, I've already used my spell bomb for the turn. Fuck. You can't just cast everything from the graveyard. That would be too good. I'm not playing very well. Sorry, guys. Noteworthy that the opponent does not have Lurrus mana. Now they do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They declined because they wanted hanger-back activation, so that means they're almost certainly not attacking. They can't regenerate the Lurrus because it's not an artifact. This thing being dead is of some comfort. Trophy's probably going to help. It means I can play both Shadows plus hold up Trophy, or the peatland. Guess they block with the worker. Okay, so they're going to make 3 Thopters, and presumably try to kill me. I'm trying to think how they could kill me. I guess it would involve them drawing like Arcbound Ravager. They can't attack with very much because I will be presenting a lot of lethal threats on the crackback. 4. I don't mind taking 4, I don't think. Oh, great one. Probably an unbeatable one. Let's see what's up. Okay. So they've got both Nexuses, and that's kind of all they've got. So I guess they just put 1 on everything and take 1,000,000 from the Battle Rage. So Ren and 6 or Assassin's Trophy, all of them would have been lethal, but let's go for this. Alright, well, Lurrus is starting to look a little bit unfair. It's a 3-mana, 3/2 you always draw, and in that game it probably was about 7 cards. So maybe it shouldn't be allowed. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Doesn't feel very fair. Does not feel very fair. Ugh. In Standard, I've been playing this ridiculous 4-colour Cats deck with, is it called Kahira, the other 3/2 cat companion? And I've been playing Lurruses in that, and you've got like 12 things you can buy back, and if on your 5th turn you go like Lurrus another thing, it always feels great. It's just so much free equity, needs an answer immediately. Usually at the point when it's been answered, you've already, because you have priority, you've already drawn 1 card off of it. It's a stupid mechanic. I mean, I'm a bit late to the complaining party, but I'm still going to complain a bit. As I gather, people with stronger and probably more informed views than me have been pretty upset about Companion for the last week. I've seen mostly Lurrus and to a lesser extent Yorion being the ones that seem to be upsetting people. That's a nearly perfect hand. They're also playing Lurrus. Okay, sure. My Lurrus is better than your Lurrus. Probably. They're clearly the same. Also, if you're still watching at this point and you would like to voice your opinion, post it in the comments. The other Lurrus decks I have an interest in are, there's a Grixis Delver with 4 of the new dragon sprite thing, the 2-mana 1/1 with haste and flying that grows. And there's I've seen Jeskai Control playing Lurrus as a way to have infinite Snapcaster mages, and you play like 1 engineered explosives, and I thought that looked fun, so kind of in for that as well. Because I just love Jeskai Control and I don't need another invitation to play it. So if you would have any feelings on what you'd rather see next out of Grixis or Jeskai, or another Lurrus list, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to accommodate people's views. Obviously, if everyone has different views, then it becomes a little harder. This looks like a mirror. No, it's another ridiculous Hardened Scales deck. So, well, we just won the last one, which is encouraging. Don't know what's going on there. Does that seems to do that sometimes in my upkeep? Oh, hang on. Right, nearly skipped my turn there. I will be wobbling my opponent. What did they reveal? Hardened Scales. Thoughtseize. Show me your hand. Scary hand. Scary, scary hand. So their hand is those cards plus Scales. Nexus, which they may shuffle away. Don't really want my Dark Confidant to get eaten by a Ballista. Just gonna say go. Or do I decay the Hardened Scales? It kind of takes the momentum out of their deck quite badly. I was planning on decaying the Ravager, but I don't hate this. Or do I have to save the decay for the Lurrus? There's so many things I want to kill. I want to kill everything. I deserve to kill everything. Okay, this is no longer part of their situation. Okay, well, we're going to have Delirium after I cast Abrupt Decay, so I can go and get lots more Death Shadows. Feels very dishonest when their hand claims to have 3 cards in it, but we clearly know they have a Lurrus. Yep. Are they going to name Beast or Construct? Construct. Well, I guess we just kill everything in order, one at a time. Makes some sense. Fantastic draw. Been desperate to lose some life. Now, if the opponent would be kind enough to miss on lands one more time, I think we'll be in pretty good position. Bastard. What's it going to be? Lurrus plus welding jar, maybe? Just to make sure they get some equity. Or are they going to play one of these? And use the animation module, which is, I guess, fair. No surprises there. Are they going to get the bauble or the jar? The jar. That makes sense. That's a bauble from hand. Who are they going to target? Nobody at the moment. That's a good one. I think because of Battle Rage, they're probably meant to block because the Peatland can remove one life. No? Okay. Not blocking. So, do I want to Assassin's Trophy the Hardened Scales or the Lurrus? Probably the Lurrus because I get the Hardened Scales back. And I probably want to do it now so I can lose some life. I have nothing to do this turn, so hopefully they can't cobble together some outrageous Walking Ballista based win and burn me out. It seems not impossible, actually, now we mention it. It seems very possible. I think I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm super dead. Oh, I fucked it up. Ugh. Why did I notice that I was dying just after I committed everything to the board? Not that I had another line, like, I don't think I had a better line than this, but still stupid. I think it makes no sense whatsoever for them to let me untap. Yeah. I'm trying to remember how I sided last time. Feels like it was something like that, and that still seems fairly reasonable to me. Yeah, I could probably go for another spell bomb. I think 4 seems insane, but if Trimming a Mishra's Bauble feels ridiculous when you've got the Lurrus, but at the same time, I don't really want to cut anything else. I guess I could cut Dark Confidant. Oh, have I trimmed too many creatures? That taken out 3 and brought 1 in. Could be too many. We'll see. We'll see. Pretty juicy hand. Opponents in 2 mines. I think they've got like a proactive play and a Veil of Summer and can't decide which to do. Holding up Veil. So we mustn't play into it. Fair enough, we won't. If they're so keen to hold up Veil that they're willing to play a turn behind when they're on the draw, that seems fine. Like, they'll probably tap out for a 2-drop now. Seems unlikely that they wouldn't. Almost all of their deck is 2. You know, like Ravager and the XX creatures. Okay, I'm fine with this. Now we get a window in which to use Inquisition. Take the Ravager, and then Traverse for Swamp. And then, oops. They now need to hit ludicrously well for this game to be close. Somehow we only have 2 card types in the yard, but I don't think that matters. Yeah, cool. That was not a close game. Go again. Don't think I want to change anything on the draw. It's not like we've got any way of lowering our curve anyway. Love this. It's amazing. Even though we are incentivized to mulligan because we've got like this free bonus extra card, we've not mulliganed at all day, or hardly. Had insane hands. Opponent knows the secrets about not drawing their extra cards because I've got Inquisition. But I'm still going to cast it. Hopefully we hit with Hardened Scales or something. A Stirrings, a Worker, and a Walker. I'm going to hit the Walker. And I'm going to play both of these. I'm going to use 1 now. one during their turn. Then we'll know a bunch of cards. Hang on. Now's the correct time, right? For me to see something other than that verdant. Tomb. Okay, cool. Okay. Death Shadow is a great draw. One thing this hand was lacking was real pressure. Don't know if I like getting in small attacks against a Death Shadow deck. Okay. So as long as this Death Shadow doesn't get taken out by a Walking Ballista when we've already dealt with two of them, I think we have a reasonable chance of untapping with it. And then we can use K command to kill the Lurrus, and things will be looking up. They're not casting a Lurrus, so they have something better to do. Wow. Fuck. That's rude. And by rude I mean I should have seen it coming, given that I just said that's what I didn't want to happen. So I'm just going to cast it. Oh, hang on. Turn off auto yields. Turn off auto yields. I want to do a thing. Okay. I nearly forgot that I could have a free card. Hanger back. Okay, that won't kill me. Oh! They got a basic forest. They don't have double black. Seems like an oversight. I think I should nuke that graveyard soon, because I don't really want, and I think I should probably tar fire this now as well. So I'm going to kill this, they make one thing, and then I hit their whole graveyard. And it's really hard to see them coming back from this. Oh, maybe I had it wrong about the... I think I did. Yeah, I had it wrong about that. Third and Catacombs in hand. Doesn't matter, everything's great. It's a really good time to be Chris. Yeah, we'll take it. Blah, 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 blah. Going to attack with both. Hope this works the way I want it to. Sure, I think I can handle that. I didn't get that right, but still. They have to be very careful about attacking. Well, I can play Lurrus and a thing now. Maybe I think I've made my life pretty bad here by being a bit sloppy. I don't know how you guys see it, but I think I've made this worse for myself than it needed to be. I hope I don't lose the game, that would be embarrassing. Probably not the dumbest thing I've done on this channel. Am I getting hit for 4? I don't know. 3, okay. So they have 5 points in the air, which is significant because I'm on 6. I shouldn't have tapped like that. I should have held up a blood crypt or something so I could represent something more meaningful than, like, this represents Veil of Summer, I guess, which was nothing. But I can't imagine anything other than an Arcbound Ravager kills me. Cool. Wow, well, I nearly fucked that up. But aside from personal weaknesses, the deck just feels crazy good. This deck is amazing. It's night and day compared to the more traditional Jund build I played like a week and a half ago and got just stomped. This is so good. Yeah, it's legitimately like 5 times as good as that deck, even though it's probably playing, I don't know, 35 of the same cards. They're not that similar considering. Yeah, the two archetypes have diverged because when Jund Death Shadow first became a thing, it was basically like an aggro version of Jund, whereas now this is way more. This uses way more like unique effects like the baubles and the Nile spell bombs and stuff like that regular Jund would never play, and regular Jund's playing things like Clothis that would be obviously illegal with Lurrus. You go to jail if you put a 3-drop in your Lurrus deck. Let's see if they have a companion as well. Oh, another Lurrus friend. This hand is superb. We keep getting stonking hands this league. Oh, mate. I'm having a good time. I like this deck. I don't think it should exist, but it's rare for the overpowered deck to be a style I like. Usually the overpowered deck is doing something I like fundamentally object to, and so I don't get to be part of the fun. But this time I am having infinite fun. You have to think differently about discard now, because the reason I ended up taking the K command there was that nothing else in their hand would stay dead. Either Lurrus or Croxer itself would just bring them back. So you end up in some interesting spots. I'm just going to pass. Hopefully they'll run out Dark Confidant. I can Tar Fire it, and then untap with all my mana to play my my copy of Lurrus, but we'll see. They may also decide they want to play Croxer, but my feeling is if they were playing Croxer, they might have gone with the Mountain. That's a funny fetch, leaving themselves short of green. I have to say I'm much less clear on how to navigate this matchup than the earlier ones. I think I may have been best served it's pitching the Tar Fire rather than the Seal of Fire, because I've sort of disincentivized them from playing the Lurrus or the Bob, and I really want them to play the Lurrus or the Bob so I can kill them. So maybe that was loose. I think we can assume that at least one more of the cards in their hand is a land, because they fetched the Blood Crypt last turn, leaving themselves without without green, unless they have another land in hand. Okay, that makes some sense. Yep. And they've got the Nile Spellbomb, which they should probably use before they let me take my turn. Absolutely ridiculous timing. You're a madman. Or woman. Either way, this is ridiculous. I can't attack, because my Death Shadow will die, but I think everything's okay. We've got a bunch of interaction. Just play my Lurrus, play a thing. Yep, you can have that. I think that's great for me. So we do still have the old Croaker to worry about, but it should probably bobble me now. Yep. It's annoying that we don't have anything cool to do with our Lurrus, but it drew us one card and is just very threatening. Green mana, so they're not playing their Croaker. Which surprises me. Sure. This feels like an admission that they need more stuff. Or they have a removal spell to hold up. Abrupt Decay is quite nice. because it answers the Croaker cleanly for 1 turn. So if they have a removal spell, this is when they would cast it. Okay. My great hope is that they play the Croaker. Fuck. Alright. That's really bad. As I say, if they play the Croaker, then I... Actually, no, it's fine, right? Because they'll be forced to chump with it, and I don't care about pitching my forest. And I've got some outs to kill it. Like, Battle Rage is lethal, Fatal Push is lethal. Because I lose 3 now. Oh, I lose 2, sorry. I thought I lost 3. I do lose 3. Can't do anything right, sorry. TBR is a good one. Although, that was very stupid of me to do that now. Because I will discard it to their Croaker instead of getting to cast it. So, that was really bad. Assuming they're just spending their turn making Croaker again. Spellbomb would be nice. Goyf seems fine. It's bigger than Croaker. Well, it is for now. Is Goyf going to shrink when they do some delving? Let's try and figure it out. I don't think they've got any card types I haven't got. Delve is the wrong word, isn't it? Escape, that's the word. I'm really disappointed with my... the way the game panned out, it wouldn't have mattered, but I'm still really disappointed with myself for the sloppy play with the Mishra's Bauble. Having earlier mentioned about the timing. Yep, we're still a 6-7, which means they're still chumping. They can put 2 more cards in their yard with the Verdant and the Peatland. They may decide not to use the Verdant because of Bolt, but opponent is fearless and in this case correct. So this is another turn where we have to deal with a returning Croaker. Okay, that's definitely better. Can they do both? They cannot. It's helpful. Looking for a counter spell, presumably. That's how Jund works. The fact that Lurrus is so good that people have stopped playing Liliana and Bloodbraid Elf is bonkers to me. But that's where we are. What's going on here? Oh, they want to escape differently. I guess they want to leave something juicy. What would it be? The Goif? They obviously have something in mind with their... Maybe they're planning on drawing a Kolaghan's Command or something. It's the Lurrus. So we take 3, which makes the Croaks are coming back one more time quite scary. But they're double chumping. Well, no, they're bouncing and chumping as things stand. It's very bad to tap my... Well, no, it doesn't matter. It's bad to tap my swamp when I would be using that to pay, but I didn't have any other non-black lands. That sucks. Actually, it's fine. It's something I can pitch to Croak so that doesn't leave me dead. So we can't attack with the Goif. We're going to elect to just kill Tarmogoyf. The decision which they've seemingly made for me. I would rather the Tarmogoyf be dead. I can take 3 from my fetch land, going to 0, making my Death Shadow a 13/13 to kill both. That seems like the combat would go really well for me, but maybe the game as a whole wouldn't. So the convenient thing is if they attack with Croakster to try and kill me, I've got a Thoughtseize I can pitch. The inconvenient thing is they might have a way to make me discard it beforehand. But they might attack in the hope that I've got like a land in hand. And that might be the game. I see no reason not to block because I would I would die if I didn't. That's a reason to block. Hopefully they don't have a blocker. Of course they do. Of course they do. This game is going on forever. K command. That sucks. I can't attack, and now it's a weird game of chicken now. I don't think... It's a really good one, although they don't have any more green. It's actually not that good here, is it? They've only got 1 green land. Has to be said, Grimflayer has been underwhelming again. I used to really like the card in the standard it existed in. What was that, Eldritch Moon? But I've tried to play it in older formats, including Pioneer, and it's just not been good enough. Well, that felt like we kind of ended up... I think we were ahead for most of that, and then we ended up just losing by being sort of outdrawn. I think that's all I want. It's bad. Not much. So I'm going to sideboard. We'll have to see if it's good enough. I haven't sideboarded a lot for any matchups today, have I? I've sided like 2 cards, so that's probably a really good sign that it's like a well-balanced, versatile main deck. Or it's a bad sideboard that's got nothing good in it. It's one or the other, isn't it? But I think based on results, we can reasonably assume it's a well-designed main deck. I'll check out the name of the deck builder. It was by a player called Dezduel, D-E-Z-D-U-E-L, and I took it from the MTG Goldfish dump, so it's, yeah, no credit for me, but that's fine. And I don't know if they designed it either, or if it's more, it might be in more circulation than I've seen. You know, it might be that everyone knows about this deck, and I was the last person to find out. Keep. I'm not sure that may have been greedy. Can target myself. Bolt. I probably do want a piece of removal. It kills the Lurrus, which is like the scariest magic card of all time. So that's something. It's not my most versatile piece of removal in there in the matchup against Goyfs and Croxers, but I fucked that up. I should have fetched that. This is really bad. If this dies to a bolt now, I'm going to look like an arsehole. But yeah, it was my fault. Okay, now it can't. So I'm happy now. Yeah, I thought about then. I thought about playing the Ooze as a plan B, but I really want to get one activation out of the Ooze before it dies at the very least. This is an interesting, very close, and I would say very skill-intensive game, and I don't necessarily trust myself to be better than my opponent. So if you see me looking concerned and tanking a lot, that's what it's about. Just a massive fear of failure. Deal some damages. And then I definitely should have thought seized before combat. I would have grown the Goyf. I have to thought seize before I cast Lurrus, don't I? A million things that kill Lurrus, so I'll take the K command. Inquisition. I was thinking it was safe because they had no discard spells, it was safe to do it now, and then that happens. Okay. Well, now I think it's fairly obvious from their side they lead on Inquisition. I have to just bolt them, which is a massively sort of suboptimal situation I find myself in. Oops. Meant to remove the peatland, not the Seal of Fire. Seems bold against the Death Shadow Team of Battle Rage deck, but yep. Are they playing Bob? They are. This would be a good time to have a Gore Clan Rampager in the deck, wouldn't it? Sadly, we don't have that luxury. Seems sensible. It's unfortunate that we've drawn 2 non-black lands, because it means like if they somehow answer our Death Shadow, we don't get to go Lurrus, replay the Shadow or anything like that. We have to block because they can Seal of Fire me for lethal. That obviously that looks like 7, but it's adding a card type, so I would die. Decided not to for some reason. Nope, decided to do it in the end. So this is a Lurrus coming down. From the Exile Zone, or whatever it is, the sideboard. I think I'm playing this over the Lurrus. I'm just passing for now. Purely because it doesn't die to Seal of Fire, so it makes me feel a bit safer. This game is right in the balance. Obviously they get to play a Dark Confidant now, which is a lot better than anything I have in my graveyard at the moment. But if I am able to draw a land, I could probably get back Scavenging Ooze or Death Shadow, which should swing the game. Okay. Sure. Oh, recast it, kill it. Yeah, I lost. Alright, well played, opponent. That was good. Taught me a little lesson at the end, but still. Overall, super impressed with the deck. Deck is awesome. Lurrus is not fair at all. What more can I say? Archetype feels amazing. Looking forward to trying some more Lurrus decks. Thank you everyone for watching and sticking with the long video, and see you all next time.